you said you want to do a shoe with me. I was like, oh, I'm working, but okay. And then you're like, you have to do it out of my shoe. And I looked down and yeah, I think you had some old Connies on, and I was like, nah, I'll make one of the bartenders do it with you.
That sounds about right. It's a standard party trick. I've matured a bit since then, mate. I use a thong now.
Yeah, it's good. Straight down.
Welcome everyone to another episode of A Beer with the Brewer. And we're here with Lockie. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very well. So Lockie is our venue manager here at Rivermakers. So he's joining us today to have a chat about beer number 3 in the birthday series, the Mango Mac.
Yeah, nice.
The Mac is back. So why don't we launch into it, mate, and crack her open. I think we're celebrating the Socceroos, mate. They got up overnight.
1-0.
Beat through to Denmark, through to the round of 16.
They got Argentina next.
I reckon we'll knock off Argentina.
Oh, it's a tough call.
Look at that.
It's a Brewers Paul match.
Brewers Paul. Cheers, mate. So, mate, you've been with us since Rivermakers opened.
Yeah, 1 year.
A little over a year ago. So how's your time been, mate, running the venue here at Rivermakers?
It's been fun.
Been fun?
Yeah, dealing with you guys. It's been fun. Nah, I've been loving it. It's good to see like the brewing process, having the brewery at the back and that.
Yep.
We get to peep down. It's different than running just a normal bar. We get to see how the beer's made. You obviously show us heaps with like you sort of taste it straight out of the tank and that.
That's one of the privileges of being a brewer, mate. Get to try stuff straight from the tank.
Yeah.
So a bit about your background, mate. How long have you been in sort of the craft beer game?
Craft beer game, maybe 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Possibly a little bit longer than that. I think I started out craft beer at Crafty Fox in Stones Corner.
Yep.
That got me into it. I was like just drinking lagers before then.
Yep.
Started off with Pirate Life, actually got me into craft beer.
Yeah. Yep.
Before they sold out.
Yep.
And then went from there, worked at craft beer over in the UK.
Yep.
Came back and then worked in Archive, which I think everyone will know about.
Yeah, so you ran Archive for a couple of years?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Yep.
Right about.
Yep. So I think you and I first met, mate. We did a tap takeover and we launched a beer. I think it was the Espresso Martini.
Yeah, the Dark Nights, yeah.
Memory. And as I stupidly do sometimes late at night, I took off a shoe, filled it up with Espresso Martini, I think with a few of the bartenders.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're involved in that.
No, it's my first meeting with you. You bumped into me and then you said you want to do a shoe with me. I was like, oh, I'm working, but okay. And then you're like, you have to do it out of my shoe. And I looked down and yeah, I think you had some old Connies on, and I was like, nah, I'll make one of the bartenders do it with you.
That sounds about right. It's a standard party trick. I've matured a bit since then, mate. I use a thong now.
Yeah, it's good. There's no limit to it too.
Yeah, that's right. Straight off the tap. So, mate, obviously the Mango Mac, one of the 5 beers. Obviously, this is not a new beer, but we've redesigned it.
Yeah, it looks nice. Looks like a mango in your hand.
Yeah, I think that was the brief. But Verg, shout out to Verg, done another cracking job on this one. And this is the first time we've used this is like a shrink wrap label.
Yeah.
Often the limiteds are just a full can sticker and they go through the label, but these ones, there's a company that does it for us. So when it's like a plastic film and they sort of shrink it to each can. So it looks really good.
Yeah.
Come up looking nice.
Yeah, it looks real good. Looks like our core range.
It does. I think that was sort of the idea. It's got the fade of the colours. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first saw them get pulled out, I thought they were sunsets.
Yeah, they do look a little bit like that, similar colour scheme. So this batch, this has only been canned yesterday, so it doesn't get much fresher.
Yeah, it tastes real nice.
Tasting pretty good. So I think, mate, there's a story about you're not a fan of mango.
Nah, I hate mangoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hate mangoes. And then when they said I was going on the podcast, I was like, oh, what beer am I doing? They said the Mango Mac, and I was like, oh, you guys know that I hate mangoes, don't you?
Yeah.
But I really love this beer. Like, when I was running an Archive, we used to get this beer out and it used to sell instantly. You get a keg in. This beer's been, one of those beers that people know in the community that's like, it's just, once it's out, it's good.
I think with this beer, for us, it's almost been the most sort of hyped and people sought after beer.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got a bit of a history. We first made it, I think, 3 years ago for what would have been maybe our 2nd birthday, if my math is right. We did like a little sour bar over at Oxford Street before we had this place. And we made, I think it was only like 4 or 5 kegs of this beer. We did it and everyone's like, oh, that's cool, why don't you make that? And then we made a 15 hect batch, which is one of the small tanks behind us here. Which, looking at the bigger tanks, it looks just like a baby brother, doesn't it? But yeah, but that's the size we used to make. So we made that and then it went out and it just sold straight away.
Yeah, I remember trying to fight for kegs.
Yeah.
When I did order in archive, you had to get on quick, otherwise you missed out.
And then we came here and straight into, rather than doing a 35, which is a half tank, which often we do, we made a full tank, 7,000 litres from 1,500. So what's that, 4 or 5 times the amount? And the same thing happened within 3 or 4 days, the whole batch sold out. So I think we've made it now, I don't know, maybe 5 times, 5 or 6 times. And each time we release it, it's, always popular. Sort of almost got that cult following, which is pretty good.
We get it in the bar behind us. We get every day, someone comes up to us and asks us, when's the mango back? I was like, don't know, it just goes so quick.
Yeah, it's sort of, we've been asked before why we don't make it year round. Last year, I think we made it a bit later in the year, going into winter. Different time of the year we normally would, and it didn't sell that well over winter. But as soon as we release it in summer, everyone loves it. So we are looking at whether we keep it available from sort of like, say, September through to about March in the warmer months.
It's definitely a summer beer though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's crushable.
It's got that sort of, by the pool vibe.
Yeah, 3.5% too. You can have a few and not be silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Blinovice as a style was originally 3.5%.
Yep.
That's sort of why a lot of the sours are 3.5%, sort of that mid-strength range. And chuck the fruit in there, and they're pretty smashable.
Yeah. Don't even feel like you're drinking a beer.
No, that's right. A bit dangerous.
Yeah. It's kind of like the gateway beer to get onto beers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We actually find, a lot of people that are new into craft beer, also a lot of women like the beer, that don't necessarily like a traditional lager or stuff like that, what people think is beer. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we get a lot of people, when we give tasters out, they go, is that actually a beer? And you go, yeah, it's a beer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And mate, we should mention last night we had a little bit of a shindig here.
Yeah,
that was a bit of fun for you guys.
Yeah, we had the Triple M party.
It was Marto's 21st, so we recently made a beer for that event, for Triple M. Did a bit of a collab with them. And then, what was it, 200 people? 250?
300 people.
300, geez. So we had 300 people jammed in the bar last night. Had a band play.
Yeah, it was good.
Which was pretty loud, I think. I was just talking to Dan, the chef, before, and he said a lot of the stuff in the kitchen was rattling as if it was an earthquake, so he had to take a lot of the stuff off the shelves.
We lost a couple of wine glasses hanging up.
The tremors coming through, so that was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good night. Such a small restaurant vibe, we thought we'd never do anything like that, but we managed to fit 300 in.
Yeah.
Good night, ran smoothly, thanks to Triple M.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool event. So is there plans to do anything like that in the future?
I think so. We've learned a lot from the first one. We kind of went into it blind, and now we know we can do it. We'll definitely look at doing it in the future.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome, mate. Well, I think we've covered off the Mango Mac. Thanks for making your debut on the show.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Cheers to many more beers.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, guys.